ClowdyWorld. And man, today, bro, we're talking about this amazing big 2024 NBA Finals game where the Celtics dominated over the Mavericks in the Game 1 win, with that man Porzingis going stupid. So before we get into it, man, we got to give love to that man Luka, Kyrie, Tatum, and of course Jaylen Brown. Even though, we all want to see people win a ring, we got to give some love and respect because it's two different legacies and dynasties that are so intertwined. Celtics having Kyrie, of course, and a lot of traits that went down kind of dictating and deciding where this man Luka and Kyrie would also end up. So it's just crazy to see everything breaking down everything. So the Boston Celtics, behind a huge return from Kristaps Porzingis, made a statement early in the NBA Finals. Now the Celtics, who broke open a 29-point lead in the first half, cruised to a dominant 107-89 win over the Dallas Mavericks in Game 1 of the NBA Finals this Thursday, bro, out there in TD Garden. An insane rally, bro, that honestly they need to make a statement for because the Mavericks were definitely becoming the people's champ. Now the Celtics have won nearly 8 games straight, and they've won every game when they've played. So they've really been on a big boost this year, and it just feels like they're so dominant, bro. Now Luka Doncic and the Mavericks, on the other hand, are now playing from behind in the franchise's first NBA Finals appearance since they won the championship with Dirk Nowitzki in 2011. Now the Mavs have won 5 straight road games entering Thursday night, so they were on a pretty high streak too. Now, this man Kristaps Porzingis really pushed through and gave them a huge Celtics run. Now, many people were kind of iffy about Porzingis for a while because it just felt like he just couldn't stay healthy in that first, Celtics stint that he had going on. And you could feel it because that was that early era with Kyrie too. And it just felt like he just had to give a little bit more to the game. Boston's last 10 games with the calf injury because he first sustained it in its opening round against the Miami Heat. Now, after coming off the bench for just the second time in his career, he immediately made up for the lost time. Now, Porzingis put up 8 points early in the first quarter, including a huge early dunk after he blew past Derek Lively and a bucket on Josh Green. Filet, bro. I guess he would have been a parlay machine. Now, that put the Celtics up by double digits and forced an early Mavericks timeout in the first period. He was going nasty, bro. 18-28 from the jump. It was just clear it was about to be a very dominant Porzingis game. Now, he then came out of timeout and enjoyed a very deep three-pointer. Immediately came up with the block on the other end to set another three-point for the Celtics. He was putting just insane plays. It was a 23-5 run. Celtics were up by 13, then 15, and finally 17 points. That marked the largest lead after the first quarter in the Game 1 in NBA Finals history. Now, if y'all are noticing something, the one thing we got to talk about is when a lot of people speak on history, they noticing that these last 2-3 years have been a lot of records breaking, a lot of things going up, things like that, and there's a multitude of reasons. One of them being in the early 2000s where they kind of limited defense heavily, where hand checking and things like that were being overtly dominant, and the offense face was just all made easy little picky fouls and ticky tacks, basically slowly but surely limiting the defense that gets applied with pressure because it's been an offense dominated league for a very. I don't really see a bad or good issue with this because the league as a whole will always be evolving, whether it's defense, the three-point line, whether it's 3 seconds, basic little in-betweens. But I thought it was something that was unique that maybe had to be spoken on, which is how everything was going down now, because when we look at Porzingis and the Celtics, they just kept going in, and in the second quarter, they easily took a 21-point lead into the locker room at the break. Now, they opened the second quarter on a 21-11 run, but took a brief 29-point lead and made 11 three-pointers in the first 20 minutes, bro. 11. Now, Porzingis had 18 points and shot 7 for 9 from the field in the first half, but Mavericks were just 3 of 13 from the three-point line. Now, that was showing that Luka was kind of struggling a little bit, but that was also kind of an issue going on with that man Kyrie. It just seemed as if they were just not hitting like they usually do. And I'm not the type of person that stresses that a lot because usually with a lot of these players and what they lock in with, sometimes their first games aren't always their best, especially with the Mavericks. I never noticed really too many game ones where that was their best in the entire postseason breakdown, whether it was with any team they went through. So I feel like that's kind of par for the course, where Celtics have just been steamrolling, especially in the first games. So I don't think the first game should be anything no one stresses on too much, because even when we lost and talk about it, that 29-point lead was cut down to 8. So clearly they still have that dog in them. They're still ready and competent and want to make a strong just push to get things done, which I feel like is in everyone's interest to just be the best. Now Kyrie, I don't doubt his skills. I'll never doubt that man Kyrie. I don't think anyone should hold this 12-game point against him. I feel like playing in 1 or 2 games bad never really made sense to me, because people will look at 2 or 3 games in LeBron's 20-year catalog and speak ill on him, and I never get that, because are we not gonna notice those type of games from our Tatums and our Browns and our Lukas and our Kyries? It just feels, you know, facetious. And I just want to see this man Kyrie ball out, whether he wins or loses. I just love to see him, Kyrie's gameplay and style of play in action on the court. I feel like it still brings that, you know, that fun, whimsical style of basketball play that sometimes can get taken away for the fundamentals in the NBA. Now, Celtics set a record sharing the wealth from the 3-point line. Everyone was hitting from the night, bro. Now, aside from the quick burst at the beginning of the third quarter, the Celtics had been in complete control of the game from the opening tap. 8 Celtics played, and they really put it in. And with 4 minutes left in the quarter, they were all in double digits. Jaylen Brown had 22, Porzingis had 20, Jason Tatum had 15, Derek White had 15, and Drew had 12. So if you look at the other side too, it was a very evenly shared individual game, meaning that no side was just putting dummy numbers up besides Luka specifically. It was a very close game for everyone, and that was just something that kind of caught me off guard at first, because I felt like once 1 or 2 teams got a mojo or movement with it, and outside of Porzingis, which was destroying them in the glass, I didn't see that type of domination coming from the Mavericks. And you know, that to me kind of started setting the tone, because when the Mavs cut the lead into double digits, bro, it wasn't over. Luka was going dumb, bro, and with that 27 points in the game and 10 and a quarter, he got the Mavs back in it. And while Dallas is having trouble moving the ball in the offensive end, only having, of course, 3 made threes outside of that man Luka, it kind of gave you an understanding of how the game went. Now, I feel like that man Kyrie got a ball out next round, and I just want to see him do something good for the game, and I just want to see him go crazy. I'm a Kyrie fan. What can I say, man? I won't even pretend to not be biased on that. As a sports fan, let's at least be honest when our sports fan this is biased. So ClowdyWorld, and let me know what y'all thoughts are overall. Let me know how y'all feel overall about what you think. If you thought it's gonna be Celtics, Mavericks, whoever between. I just feel like it's a lot of good things lined up for the Mavericks, and I'm locking with Kyrie, man. I love to see what he does. ClowdyWorld, like, comment, subscribe, and we are gone.